Welcome back to The Gooden Life with me, Keith Gooden, and my wife, Fran.
Hello.
We've ventured outside Marshall, the southernmost village in the Cotswolds, and we're standing on the outskirts of Bath. If you don't know the city very well, Newbridge, it's one of the ways into Bath, and we're standing in a huge open field which is destined to become allotments, but not council allotments. This is the private sector moving in for allotments and no dig. And with me is Ed and William. We're standing in a field at the moment, William, but it's destined to become how many allotments in total?
It's about 350 allotments we hope in total, yeah.
So when do you plan to have it all ready and up for people to move in?
Well, we're currently about to start drawing out the site and then building the beds. So hopefully about mid-March to the third week of March, we'll start phasing people in and have a full site opening from the 1st of April, hopefully.
Now, you say mid-March, we are talking at the beginning of February, aren't we? So you want people growing this year?
Yes, we want people growing this year. It's a shame to miss out on yet another growing season.
Ed, if I can just ask you, so what's the concept of no dig? Because that's what you want it to be here, don't you?
No dig, it basically means that you don't have to hurt your back if you want to start growing veg. And I spend a lot of hours behind a desk doing a lot of computer work, and it's the last thing that my back wants. I also wanted to find a very easy way to grow veg, which meant you do less weeding, less watering, you build soil health, it's better for the environment, and it's all about creating a circular system to feed back into it and grow better veg.
Now, most allotmenteers, like me and Freya, we do quite a lot of digging. It's what we've been brought up to do. Just explain exactly what no dig is. What's the difference between double digging, which a lot of people have been brought up to do, and no digging?
So classically, people do dig their allotments, and that's the sort of the process of literally digging the soil, removing the weeds and picking out the bits that you don't want, making sure it's nice and fine. Some people even sieve it. No dig is basically putting a layer of cardboard on top of the ground over whatever is there, and then putting 3 to 5 inches of good compost on top of that and letting nature do its job and planting straight into it.
But that's the downside of no dig, isn't it? You've got to be able to get your hands on lots of manure or compost in order to pile the soil up to get something to plant into. How are you going to solve that problem?
So luckily we are partnered up with Newton Farm Shop, and they're going to supply us with a lot of lovely rotted cow manure.
Which you're just going to, put in big piles around the site for people to help themselves, or are you going to be putting it on the people's plots?
We'll be marking out every single plot in this field and making sure they are ready for people to plant straight into when it comes to the opening day.
Just to paint a picture for you, we are in a sort of a large, I suppose I'd describe it as triangular, but you from the farming community would probably disagree with me, I don't know. But if you can just describe to me how big it is, this field, and how many plots you think you're going to get on it.
So it's 8.1 acres. We think we'll get comfortably 350 plots on here, but 25% of this field is destined for wild meadows, open spaces for people to come down, sit, relax, picnic benches, have their lunch, build a real community site. You know, we're not just looking here for people to come down and leave. We want to build somewhere for people to come for the community.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Usually when you get an allotment, it costs about £40 a year. Depends where you are in the country, depends what allotment society you're dealing with. And usually you have to go onto a waiting list. I know in Marshfield our waiting list is still about a year, maybe 18 months. Down here in Bath, I understand 2 years to 7 years?
Yeah, it's about 2 to 5 years here in Bath, but I mean, that's relatively short compared to the rest of the country. You know, London is well over 10 years. Lambeth, where I currently live, is 30 something years. Derby is 18 years. You know, so this is a national problem. So we're looking to get people growing this year.
But the thing is, it's for a price, isn't it? So you are charging more than the council would charge, aren't you?
It's £20 a month, but it includes your plot, it includes your compost ready to plant beds. We'll provide you compost for the year for free, which Ed, when he started his no-dig plot with about 65 metres squared, was spent about £400 on alone. And the traditional allotment, someone might buy a shed, they might buy tools, they might buy a greenhouse, and the cost of that are now mounting up to probably well over £1,000. You know, so all you need to do, pay your deposit, pay £20 a month. We'll provide the tools, the seeds, the compost, the land, and courses all from Charles Dowding so that people can get growing, and we'll give them all the information that they need, so you don't have to wait and you don't have to worry about not having the knowledge to do this.
And this is all happening from this March?
Yeah, all from this March. We can't wait.
Let's just go forward a few months. You've got the 350 plots. I understand that demand for them has been pretty high so far.
Yeah, it's been really high. We're probably about 30 or 40% sold out already.
So people are on their plots, you're providing things, as you say, like the compost and like the manure. What if somebody wants to come along and do the old-fashioned sort of allotmenting and start digging?
They're not allowed, unfortunately. This is one of our site rules. We are no dig and we are organic, so please don't bring any chemicals onto the site, and please do not bring a shovel is our rule, although we will be providing all the tools anyway, so you shouldn't need to bring anything.
No slug pellets?
No, we'd prefer not. We'll be providing natural pest control, so flowers like marigolds and nasturtiums to keep pests away. We'll be digging ponds in each section of the field as natural pest control, and lots of different methods to keep the pests away.
So Ed, let's talk about some of the practicalities then of allotments in no dig. We've already heard you're not going to encourage chemicals at all. You are going to provide the tools. You've also other big plans, haven't you? You're trying to form a community here for people and put structures up.
Yeah, we really want to have sort of this central area in the middle of the allotments, which is going to become this sort of community roots hub, where we're going to host talks, workshops throughout the year, and just amazing events. Also by the river, we're going to have picnic benches for people to bring some food down. If they want to do a day of gardening, they can have a lovely, lovely lunch by the River Avon, which I don't know if you get that on any other allotment site in Bath.
So it all sounds pretty perfect if you can stump up the £20 a month to do it. You are encouraging people to grow their own, obviously, and in a healthy way. You say that take-up so far has been pretty good. I understand also the politicians are looking to pay visits on you.
We're going to be hopefully getting a visit from the Mayor of Bath in the next couple of weeks, and they've also shown interest in coming to our open event, which would be amazing to have the whole city's support. It feels like we're doing a really positive thing for both people and planet, and it's great to get such a warm welcome from the people of Bath. We've had a lot of positive sentiment around the idea and great feedback.
We've been talking about what you're doing for the community, but you've got big plans for schools, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly that. So we've reached out to all of the local primary schools at the moment, and we're offering free beds for them to bring down classes of school kids to teach growing to younger people. There's a lot of facts in it and a lot of science, studies that were done where kids who eat homegrown or locally grown fruit and veg are twice as likely to eat their 5 a day. And so we're really looking to get people in the local community actively growing from a young age and healthier.
And you've got plans for cyclists as well, I understand.
Yeah, we will have cycle locks on site so people can get to the site sustainably and walk here and feel safe. That.
Yeah, because Bath is known for its traffic, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is. We all know that. Spent many hours in the Bath traffic.
So as part of the allotments, it's not just like an allotment site in the traditional sense. You know, if you're a busy working professional and you don't have as much time to come down to site, we're really looking to take some of this time pressure off you. So if you're too busy this week, we can do your watering. If you're going on holiday, we'll look after your plot for you. So we'll pick up this slack so it doesn't require as time intensive as a traditional allotment might feel to a lot of people.
So some of the hard work is taken out of it. I mean, that is a really different way of thinking about allotments. To be honest with you, a lot of allotmenteers like the penance, don't they? They like the double digging and having to drag themselves up. It's much more of a service for growing your own food, isn't it, than traditional allotmenting?
It is. That's pretty much how we would describe it. It's a modern day service company that is trying to get more people growing and eating healthier with less work for themselves.
And William, how have the farming community reacted?
My parents are always natural skeptics about everything that's not just natural farming, but I think they love the idea as well. And I think in general, we've had nothing but praise about the idea, about getting people to understand more about where their food comes from and eat locally. You know, stop buying so much international stuff, stop supporting these giant conglomerate supermarkets, and start having a healthier, more local life.
Well, it'd be nice to come down and visit and see how things are going. Can we drop in?
Yeah, 100%. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for joining us today. It's been absolutely brilliant. Now, you have to understand that this is a new way of allotmenting, which usually attracts just a bunch of old people like me. But you seem like you're going for a much more across-the-board audience.
We would love to make Roots allotment sites open to anyone. We want them to be totally inclusive, and we just think that it's so important to get people taking control of their own health, and both physical and mental health, because the payoffs from gardening are just amazing. I've personally felt them, and it helped me get through the first lockdown. I don't know what I would have done without my allotment.
I think a lot of people feel exactly the same way. Okay then, William, just to wrap up, if people are interested in Roots in Bath, what should they do?
Well, they should head to www.rootsallotments.com, or you can Google it as well. Drop me an email. My emails are on the website. If you've got any questions at all, then just